Tonight, we bring you the gripping story of an unprecedented airport shutdown in Alaska. A sudden event that sent shockwaves not just through the state, but across the entire nation. In the stillness of the Alaskan night, what began as a routine evening at the Anchorage airport quickly spiraled into chaos as emergency vehicles raced to the scene and the terminal lights flickered with uncertainty. The world watched as Alaska, often seen as remote and isolated, became the epicenter of a crisis that would test the limits of our national infrastructure. Within hours, thousands of travelers found themselves stranded, their journeys abruptly halted. Families huddled together on cold terminal floors. Business travelers anxiously checked their phones for updates, and airport staff scrambled to provide basic comforts like blankets and water. The frustration and confusion were palpable, as people realized that this was more than just a travel inconvenience. It was a stark reminder of how dependent we are on complex systems that can fail without warning. What initially appeared to be a minor technical glitch rapidly escalated into a full-blown national crisis. Entire fleets were grounded, departure boards flashed with cancellations, and airline staff struggled to calm increasingly upset passengers. News crews rushed to capture the unfolding drama. As the nation began to realize just how interconnected and vulnerable our transportation networks truly are. This incident isn't just about canceled flights or missed connections. It raises urgent questions about the security and resilience of our critical infrastructure in an age where digital threats loom large. How prepared are we for the unexpected? Are our systems robust enough to withstand both technical failures and potential cyber attacks? The answers are more important now than ever before. As we dive deeper into this story, we'll uncover how a single point of failure in Alaska became a powerful case study for the entire country. This event forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our readiness and resilience, and challenges us to rethink how we prepare for the complex threats of the modern world. Stay with us as we explore what happened, why it matters, and what it means for the future of our nation's infrastructure. The crisis began quietly, almost imperceptibly. Deep within the heart of Alaska Airlines' main data center, a critical piece of hardware suddenly failed. At first, it seemed like a minor technical hiccup, the kind that IT teams handle every day. But this time, the failure was different. It triggered a cascade of problems that would soon ripple across the entire airline's operations. In an instant, essential systems for flight dispatch, communications, and ground operations went completely dark. The silence was deafening. With no way to coordinate flights or communicate with crews, every single Alaska Airlines plane, from the bustling runways of Anchorage to the sunlit gates of San Diego, was ordered to remain grounded. Passengers sat waiting, unaware of the digital chaos unfolding behind the scenes. What was initially expected to be a brief pause quickly escalated into a full-blown crisis. Technicians raced against the clock, poring over server racks and troubleshooting complex systems, but the problems proved stubborn. Each attempt to restore the network revealed new complications, and the minutes stretched into hours. Airline staff in the operations control room watched anxiously as the situation worsened. By the time morning arrived, the scale of the disruption was clear. Over 200 flights had been canceled, stranding thousands of travelers. The chaos was most severe at Anchorage and Fairbanks, where terminals overflowed with frustrated passengers and departure boards flashed with rows of canceled flights. The airline's entire network was thrown into disarray, with ripple effects felt across the country. This wasn't the first sign of trouble. Just months earlier, a similar IT issue had disrupted operations, raising serious questions about the airline's digital resilience. Despite warnings and previous incidents, the underlying vulnerabilities remained unaddressed, leaving the system exposed to another catastrophic failure. The shutdown laid bare a sobering reality. Modern aviation is deeply dependent on complex digital systems. When these systems falter, the consequences are immediate and far-reaching. In a world where every flight, every passenger, and every crew member relies on seamless technology, a single point of failure can bring an entire airline to a standstill, reminding us just how fragile our interconnected world can be. For thousands of travelers, the shutdown was more than a headline, it was a personal disaster. The chaos unfolded in real time, leaving many feeling helpless and stranded in unfamiliar places. Airports, usually bustling with the excitement of travel, turned into scenes of frustration and despair. Passengers like Terry Haynes saw their plans collapse into days of waiting and uncertainty, with families separated and critical appointments missed. For some, it meant missing once-in-a-lifetime events, like weddings or graduations, while others faced the anxiety of not knowing when they would see their loved ones again. In Alaska, where air travel is a lifeline, the impact was especially severe. Patients missed medical care, and vital supplies were delayed. The remote communities, already isolated, felt the pinch as essential goods and services were put on hold, affecting daily life in profound ways. Customer service lines were overwhelmed, leaving many feeling abandoned. The staff, though trying their best, were unable to provide answers or solutions, adding to the growing frustration and helplessness among travelers. The domino effect of cancellations stranded people far from home, forcing some to sleep on airport floors. Makeshift beds were created from suitcases and jackets, as weary travelers tried to find comfort in uncomfortable situations. The emotional toll was immense, as confusion and anxiety spread with every delayed update. Each announcement brought a mix of hope and despair, as passengers clung to their phones, waiting for any sign of good news. The true cost was measured not just in lost time and money, but in the stress and disruption to lives across the state. Families comforted each other, trying to stay positive amidst the uncertainty, while others paced anxiously, counting the hours until they could return to normalcy. The shutdown's impact rippled far beyond Alaska, crippling major hubs like Seattle and straining airports from Portland to Los Angeles. Other airlines scrambled to absorb displaced passengers, driving up prices and overbooking flights. The economic fallout was swift. Millions lost in revenue, disrupted cargo shipments, and a blow to Alaska's tourism and fishing industries. The shutdown severed personal connections, delaying reunions and upending plans for students, workers, and military personnel. It also shook public confidence in air travel, planting seeds of doubt about the reliability of the systems we depend on. The Alaska Airlines shutdown became a cautionary tale of how quickly our interconnected world can grind to a halt. In Alaska, aviation isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Planes deliver mail, groceries, and medical supplies to remote communities and connect people to healthcare, education, and economic opportunity. The grounding of Alaska's largest carrier was catastrophic, cutting off entire towns and delaying everything from specialist appointments to fresh produce. The shutdown exposed the state's profound vulnerability, where a canceled flight can mean life or death consequences. Even social and cultural life suffered, as events and family gatherings were put on hold. In Alaska, when the planes stop, so does the heartbeat of the community. Amid the chaos, the voices of stranded passengers told the real story. One traveler lamented missing a sister's wedding. Another worried about a child's medication stuck in checked baggage. For some, the shutdown threatened livelihoods with missed work and lost pay. Airline officials apologized and worked to restore service, but faced criticism for poor communication. Airport staff worked overtime to help, but the scale of the crisis overwhelmed everyone. These stories turned an abstract IT failure into a human crisis, revealing the deep impact on lives and communities. The shutdown was more than a technical glitch. It was a test of resilience for everyone involved. As the dust settled, experts called the Alaska Airlines shutdown a wake-up call for the entire industry. Analysts questioned whether airlines have invested enough in the core systems that keep operations running, not just customer-facing tech. The event reignited debates about digital vulnerability and the need for true resilience, not just against cyber attacks, but any disruption. Public trust in air travel took a hit, with calls for airlines to be transparent and invest in robust backup systems. The lesson: efficiency isn't enough. The industry must prioritize resilience and redundancy to prevent future collapses. The Alaska shutdown should spark a sector-wide review of IT infrastructure and disaster recovery plans. The crisis quickly drew attention from lawmakers in Alaska and Washington, D.C., elevating the issue to a matter of national security. Alaska's congressional delegation demanded answers and action from both the airline and the FAA. The incident fueled calls for stricter federal oversight mandatory IT redundancy, and more transparent reporting of failures. Consumer advocates pushed for better passenger compensation and accountability. The shutdown became a real-world example of the vulnerabilities policymakers have long warned about. It's likely to shape future aviation policy, making infrastructure resilience a top priority in Washington. The Alaska airport shutdown stands as a stark lesson for our digital age. It revealed how our greatest strengths, speed, efficiency, connectivity, can also be our biggest weaknesses. The event demands a renewed focus on preparedness, redundancy, and clear crisis communication. For Alaska's communities, it reinforced the need for local resilience and mutual aid. The stories of stranded passengers are a reminder that infrastructure failures have real human costs. Rebuilding trust will require more than technical fixes. It will take a commitment to public safety and transparency. The silence that fell over Alaska's skies is a warning and a call to build a stronger, more resilient future for all.